Okay. I hope we're recording. Okay. Can you see me, guys? I hope you can. It's 8:09 where I am right now. Hopefully you guys can hear me. That would be weird if you couldn't. But today we're gonna be talking about what I used for the bass tournament I used on the 20th of September and how to fish it. I don't have my tackle or anything with me right now at the moment. It's going to be a very short video. If you do want to end up seeing stuff like this, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. But here you go. So, first up, we got the Aaron's Magic Robo Worm. This is a good one, 6-inch. I don't know how close I have to get to the camera, but it's a nice one. Pretty much drop shot. You can. So here's the hook. Ignore the leader line, but here's a hook. You're just gonna rig it on the nose, or you can use an offset hook, which I don't have right now. But pretty much, you drop shot this, or you fish it Texas rig or anything like that. But that's pretty much for that. And then you got a swim bait, or also this type would be called a fluke by Zoom, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not positive. I did not get a chance to fish this yet, but it's a super awesome bait. It works for trout, panfish, bass, crappie. You just kind of know how to fish it. You can fish it drop shot, weightless, Texas rig, pretty much any way you want to fish it. Next up, if you're going to Texas rig, I prefer a 1/8 ounce bullet weight or bigger. You don't want to go too big, nothing bigger than a 3/8 ounce. Okay, let's get into my specialty baits. Okay. So I don't exactly know the color of this bait here by 5150, but it's a good bait, I can tell you that. I just got it shipped to me without the actual packaging, so I don't know what color it is. My buddy might know. Let's see, where's my favorite bait color? Alright. So right here, we got the Morning Dawn. Or, if you're going to go with Robo Worm, it's Aaron's Morning Dawn, which during the tournament, this is what we used on a jig. We got just a plain jig, no like skirt or nothing on it. Just a very tiny head or big head, doesn't matter. But early morning is when we found the bite in the shallower areas at Roosevelt. Going over to the Sally Mae area on the bluffs and stuff, like later in the day, we found our fish hanging out in between 12 to 15 foot of water and still jigging. We never went away from the jigging part. We never went away from jigging the Yamamoto craw and the Aaron's Morning Dawn and the Morning Dawn. And pretty much all day long, that's what we caught our fish on. Pretty much this 5.5 inch to 4 inches, or 4 inches to 5.5, depending who you are. That is a good one there. The jigs I would use would be, how do I say this? Like a Bass Pro Shops Pro Series jig would be a good one, about 3/8 to 1/16 ounce of a jig head. I'm not positive. I'll have the link in the description below. Then you got I can't remember the other one, but all the links in the description below. All the links and stuff that I use will be in the description below. Okay, our next bait would be another robo worm, but I think this one is a green or black. I don't know the color of this one. It's been a while since I've actually used it. And yeah, I took everything out of the packaging pretty much, so I don't know the colors off the top of my head. But I'm pretty sure this is a green pumpkin robo worm or something, 6-inch straight tail. And this one you pretty much rig the same way as the other one. Okay. Here's an interesting one. This bait, I'll have to contact my buddy about, but has two tails, like twirl tails on the end of it, and it's a wacky rig bait. So when you do it, this bait has like a hole right here. I don't know if you can see it's not a hole, but it's like a thing there. But you can put the hook right on the center of that and have it come out the other side evenly, and it's rigged like this. And now it's weightless, so you just leave it like this, so when it casts, it's gonna be like, it's gonna sprout out, it's gonna go up, and these tails are gonna turn, so when you pop it, it's gonna go boom. It's gonna like make movement, and it makes the fish want to bite. This is a good bait if you're fishing your bluffs, trees, cover, and stuff like that, or your like bass, suspended bass. If your bass aren't really active, if they're not chasing their food, this is a good bait to throw, because you can let it sit and bump it a few times. If you're gonna fish a Yamamoto Cinco, which I actually prefer that over this, you count 20 seconds or more on its fall motion, bump it once or two, and then do that again. Okay, next bait would have to be, this one's destroyed. I don't want to show a destroyed bait on camera, do I? Maybe not, maybe I do. But this one is a nice bait. Yes, for all of you people that are gonna go in the comments and yell at me. This is stick bait. It's a type of stick bait, not an actual stick bait, but it has a buffier tail, so you can drop shot it, you can Texas rig it, Carolina rig it, you can do pretty much anything you want with it. You can wacky rig it. This is a nice one, especially like if you're fishing rocks or sandy banks and stuff. This is one I'd use for spawning bass sometimes, if not river bass. And yes, I know everybody's gonna start yelling at me for not saying the proper names and stuff, but honestly I don't care. Here's the Yamamoto Cinco. It's a 3-inch, I believe, 3-4 inch Yamamoto Cinco. It's a stick bait, but on the tail, I don't know if you can see it, but there's going to be like a little dip. So what you do is you put it to your near sunlight or light source, and you want to find that dip in the tail. And you want that dip when it's on your offset hook or anything. If you're going to rig it Texas rig but weightless, you want the dip, the face down. So like your offset hook will look like this, or like this sort of, and your bottom, that slit, will be facing down with the bottom of the hook. If you're racking rigging it, same thing, just you're gonna have the hook, so you're gonna find that like middle spot that's right there, and you're just gonna hook it like that, and it's gonna, well, I kind of hooked it off ways a little bit, but you guys get the point. It's gonna act a lot like this, or not that one. It's gonna act a lot like this bait here, except this one has a motion like this, so back and forth, or like this. And it's a slower fall. But then again, Yamamoto Senkos are the way to go for pressured fish, and pretty much if you want to take your kid out fishing, Yamamoto Senkos are the best way to go if you're fishing wintertime and fall bass and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I covered everything I have right now. If you want to see other videos like this, I will have all my tackle in the next video. So if you want to actually see like the actual stuff, you're gonna have to wait till I actually have all my tackle. And then pound test line, I would use anywhere around, hold on, okay, I would use anywhere around, I gotta fix you guys, I would use anywhere around 12 pound, anywhere from 10 to 12 pound Suffix each. That is the best line I've ever found so far. Suffix is a great brand for fishing line. They're also teamed up with Rapala. Rapala is a great hardbait company. So is Strike King, Berkeley. They do have some good baits, like the please don't get mad at me if I say this name wrong. Jigger Craw, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. But that is a good soft plastic bait from them. The Cridge, I hope I said that name right. But it's a new jerkbait that Berkeley came out with. That's a good one. And rods. If I'm going to talk about rods, Fenwick, Lima Glass, Lose, and Proficiency. And Fluger. I'm more of a Lima Glass, Fenwick type guy, but Lose and Fluger have made some great rods. If you want just a starting rod or a rod to have your kid have for a while, Proficiency does support that. Fluger is a great brand for that as well. Reels, Cast King. Most of my bait casters are Cast King. I only have 2 Abu Garcia reels. And when I use the Abu Garcia reels is for my heavy stuff, like for my lures or my heavy jigs. That's what I use Abu Garcia for. Reel wise, if I'm gonna finesse with bait casters and stuff, Cast King all the way for Texas rigs to drop shots, anything pretty much. Senkos. The luge rod, and it's a combo. It's the Custom XP. That is the best rod I've ever seen. If we're gonna go open phase, I have Fenwick, Fluger, and I don't remember the other rods, but the reel's there. I have a Pro Series Proficiency reel. I have a Quantum. I don't remember the name. It's a Quantum reel, I know that. And then, well, once I get all my stuff, I'll have more information on you for that stuff. If we're talking, okay, so 10 pound test line. I throw 10 pound test line on all my drop shots. Oh yeah, I have another, the Bass Pro Shop Johnny Morris series. Those are great rods too. But if we're gonna go for what bait and situation, 10 pound test for your drop shots. I throw it on my lighter jigs. So like, if I'm gonna put a jig on my open face rod for like more finesse style jig. Oh, sorry, it's super late for me. I'm gonna throw 10 pound test line on finesse jigs. Pretty much anything finesse like, I'll put 10 pound test line on. Every now and then I'll put 10 pound test on my Texas rigs. That's only if I can't get them to buy on anything heavier on the Texas rig side. Other than that, 12-pound test for Texas rigs, lures, pretty much anything that is heavier than finesse. If you're gonna fish trees or cover, brush, stuff, it doesn't matter what pound. It doesn't matter what pound test line you got. Of course, if you're fishing bluffs and stuff, fish the stuff you know how to fish. The biggest fish I've seen caught this year on my tournament was caught off a bluff. Either they were fishing buzzbaits, Cincos, the Yamamoto Cinco, or they were jigging. We were jigging and we caught a 3-pound so bass. And we were just jigging right there at the bluff, at the bottom of the bluff, and he smoked it. The biggest bag at the tournament was 13.5 pounds, and their biggest bass, I believe, was 6 pounds something ounces. And sorry, if you guys are gonna be buzzbait fishing, you're gonna put braid on so it stays on the top of the water, but you're also gonna want something sturdy like 12+ pound test for the buzzbait. If you're fishing your bluffs, you definitely want your 15+ pound test, just because all of your bigger fish are not dumb. They will hit it as hard and fast as they can. My grandpa, during practice day, pre-fish is what the pros call it, we were out there fishing the bluff, first pre-fish day, and of course I'm over there throwing a Cinco, cause I fish Cincos real well. My grandpa's over there throwing a buzzbait. My buddy, my partner, is throwing jerk baits and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, we caught a lot of fish in the shallows during the day and stuff on jerk baits and jigs, but they seem to be more active. I think it's what we've seen on the south end of Roosevelt, so the salt end is what we've seen for them to be more active. But then again, my grandpa cast, he was retrieving it, and this huge bass, I was facing the other way. I heard the pop, the noise that the bass made, and it was huge. And my grandpa almost lost the rod because of the fish. But you look over there and the swell was massive. It was probably if it was on the hook and my grandpa managed to get it in, it would have been the biggest bass I've ever seen in my life. Hands down. You all may be wondering, well then why didn't you fish buzzbaits? Well, because out of everything, we've only had one hit and one follow-up on a buzzbait. Everything else was on jigs. Sure, we caught 2 on a jerkbait, but they weren't good size. Every good size fish we caught was on a jig. And oh crap. If you're gonna fish jigs, you gotta understand how to fish it. I gotta reset you guys. Alright. Alright. To fish a jig, you can swim it, you can do much of anything with it, pretty much anything. What we found best was you cast it, let it fall to the bottom, let it sit. You're gonna pull your rod up, but you're gonna bump it a few times when it's coming up. Then you let it fall, sit, and of course, if you're gonna fish any type of worm on a jig. You can have straight tail, but the thing I recommend is curl tail. Any curl tail worm that is 4.5 inches long to 5.5 inches long. If you're gonna fish a straight tail, same length, or you could go to 6. It doesn't really matter. Just depends on the size of your jig. Crawfish, the crawfish style plastics, they work great the same way. But you want to imitate what those fish are eating on. So you go, when you're fishing a jig on a crawdad, you want to make it sit a lot longer than the worm. You cast out, let it sit. Sit there, you take a drink of water, let it sit, then pop it once or twice real quick, let it sit again for about 5 seconds to a minute. Then pop it again, pull up once or pop it again, and that's it until you get the bite. What people don't understand, if you're getting hung, you're where the fish are. I've seen a lot of people get hung. Oh, I can't stop yawning. But I've seen a lot of people get hung and they just stop casting there. But you cast there every cast until you move up. And then equipment, Lawrence is what we use. I just bought myself a brand new Skeeter bass boat, which it's not new, it's 2000s model, but it's something it's gonna have work on, but it's gonna be nice when it's finished. I'm actually going this Friday. I'm leaving this Friday to California for a marine wholesale, which is for like boats and stuff, where you buy stuff for boats, and it's all marina stuff, all marine type stuff. And then starting January, or I'll be gone all December and part of January, just because I'm going to a Big Rock Sporting. It's called Big Rock Sports Outdoor XP something. I don't know, but it's where it has, it's an expo. Big Rock Sporting Goods or something, I don't know. But it's where it has all these fishing companies and hunting companies and stuff like that. The hooks I use will be spear point hooks or Gamakatsu. Spear point hooks, hand down, are the best hooks to keep your fish on. But if you're looking for, if you're just, how do I put this? If you're not looking for a struggle to get your hook out of the fish's mouth, Gamakatsu is the way to go. Spear point hooks, the way they're designed, is they have a V-grip. And what happens is, when the more pressure you put, or the more pressure the fish puts, the more it sinks down into that V-grip and it can't escape. So if it jumps and tries to throw the hook, it can't throw the hook. And they work phenomenal. It doesn't matter what you're fishing for, how you're fishing, they are probably hands down the best hooks I've ever used. Gamakatsu, they are sharp, and also the best hooks. The only thing that makes them different is the style and the make. Companies I use for like baits and stuff, already went over Strike King and stuff like that. Yamamoto, Roboworm, 5150, Berkeley, Rabbited Baits, American Bait Works. There's a lot more, but I'll go over those a lot. I'll go over those some other video. If you want more tips, I will go over more tips with you guys. Just make sure to go in the comments, tell me what you want to see, and hopefully you guys like the video and subscribe. It helps me support the channel. If you guys want to see Fish Bounty baits, their baits that come out and stuff, I don't mind making a video on that. But they will have videos specific for their baits, while this channel will go over every bait that we use and stuff that we like. But other than that, see you all later and catch a big one. Have a great time out there.